Douglas Cooling and Heating, serving the Birmingham area for 38 years. 988-3706. That's Douglas.
I'm James Spann. This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Wednesday, the 24th of August. Another hot, dry day here. We've got Irene coming up in the Bahamas. What's it going to do? Will it skirt the East Coast, stay offshore? Let's see if we can get some answers here. We'll go to some of the Skycam shots this afternoon. First off, the view coming from downtown Clanton in Peach Country. A sun-bathed city there. Temperatures are mostly in the 90s. Check the Gadsden Skycam. In fact, I was pretty close to there today in Glencoe. Saw some folks at College Heights Baptist Church in Glencoe this morning. And from Trussville. That's the view coming from Chalkville Mountain Road, just north of Interstate 59. There's the water vapor satellite shot. Nice trough over the Great Lakes and parts of eastern Canada. That's going to be turning Irene to the north and northeast. And where that turn occurs will determine if it impacts the United States directly or indirectly. And look at the little thunderstorm mass. I say little, that's a lot there over Louisiana, Arkansas, and we've got thunderstorms developing over Mississippi, even West Alabama. Quite frankly, we had expected most of our state to be dry today. Big storms down around Mobile and Gulf Shores with a convective mass and MCS dropping to the south. But again, away from those storms in West Alabama, most everybody dry today with dry air in place. And temperatures about where they should be, low and mid-90s for most spots. And again, the two exceptions, Montgomery and Tuscaloosa, both of those cities at 98. Birmingham sitting at 94 at 2 o'clock. And around the nation, again, the heat peaks out over Oklahoma and Texas. It's been a broiling kind of summer out there, but look at that cool air, that rain-cooled air over Arkansas, where they're sitting in the 70s, down there toward Crossett and El Dorado, south of Little Rock. Up on the watch warning map, we've got a severe thunderstorm box for those storms coming through. There's the box until 7 o'clock this evening. That includes parts of eastern Texas and Louisiana, and they are thankful for that rain in Longview, Texas, and Gregg County. Also, again, you can see the scattered storms off to the west, but again, the bulk of that is dropping south and not moving this way. There's the convective outlook for the rest of today and tonight. Slight risk of severe weather up north with a cold front coming through places like Indianapolis and Cleveland and Detroit. Now, tomorrow, that front eases in here, and it might kick off a storm. We don't think it rains in a lot of places, but look at the probabilities. You can see that we got those low end 5% severe weather chances down in here. So some of the storms, if they do form tomorrow, could pack a punch. But again, the problem is they should be very widely spaced. A lot of folks not getting wet. QPF chart wants some rain. Yeah, that track of Irene will be the big rainmaker to the east, and around here, just not much through Monday morning. This is valid through Monday morning at 7 o'clock. Looks like the bullseye's 13.8 inches just below Long Island. And let's talk about the tropics. Irene, of course, is the big story coming up into the Bahamas. Little weak wave in the central Atlantic. That will bother nobody. And a really good-looking wave that's down to the southwest of the Cape Verde Islands in the eastern Atlantic. We'll discuss that in a moment. First off, the latest on Irene. This thing is a major hurricane now. Looks good. That's the visible satellite shot. The sustained winds at 120 miles an hour. Moving northwest at 12. And that's going to produce a lot of damage, I'm afraid, across the Bahamas. Not the day to be at Freeport or Nassau. All right, modeling. Now, the models, really, the better blend of the models keep it just offshore, east of the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And again, we stress this will have no issues other than rough surf for Florida, Georgia, or South Carolina. The Outer Banks, yes, going to be windy, and they could see some squalls from this. And then really the models are suggesting the landfall, if it happens on the United States coast, would be from a weakening hurricane over New England, around Rhode Island, or maybe Massachusetts and Cape Cod. And that would be Sunday night. The intensity forecast, it should be peaking in intensity really in the next 48 hours. Some ramp it up to a Category 4, some a strong 3. But notice how at 96 hours, the thing really begins to tail off as it encounters the cooler water and it moves inland up in New England if it makes landfall. And even if it doesn't, it's going to weaken anyway because of the cooler water up there. And there's the official track. Hurricane Center slowly jogging the track east. They've got the thing coming up as a major hurricane Saturday morning to the southeast of Wilmington, skirting the Outer Banks Saturday night. Then a weakening hurricane near Atlantic City Sunday morning, and then coming up toward New England Sunday night. Long Island or Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. And again, we stress as it comes up there, it's only going to be a Category 1 more than likely. Still, could be enough to produce a lot of wind and rain for Boston and Providence and Bridgeport and places like that. And then it's got it inland over central Maine Monday morning at 8 o'clock. So we'll keep an eye on that. But obviously on that track, it's just going to keep us dry here. Check the visible satellite shot of that disturbance in the far eastern Atlantic. That thing's got some banding going on here. That almost looks like a tropical depression now, but don't worry. Be happy. This thing is going to go nowhere. It's just going to drift north-northwest for the next 5 days. It's going to stay in the middle of nowhere and bother nobody except the fish and the ships at sea. The intensity guidance on that one, Invest 90. The camps are kind of split. You got one camp that does not bring it to a tropical storm. Many of them do. And one brings it up to a Category 1 hurricane. But again, that's not going to bother any landmass. Check the GFS, 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. This is the 12Z run, by the way, and this is at 500 millibars. And again, you can see that shortwave trough coming through the northeastern states that will help it to turn Irene. Almost called it Ivan. Irene to the north and in northeast. There's the surface look. It's well to the east of Fort Lauderdale, again coming up through the northern Bahamas. This is Friday evening at 7 o'clock. Irene is east of Savannah and Charleston. Saturday, that thing is just east of the Outer Banks. This is Saturday evening at 7 o'clock. And again, I should mention, I've been talking about Irene. We have that weak front here tomorrow, and that might kick off an isolated storm or two, maybe a strong one. And just a slight chance Friday. But again, Saturday looks dry as a bone. And there's Sunday. Irene is, again, that looks like a pretty significant system coming up there toward Cape Cod. This is Sunday evening at 7 o'clock. So in terms of the timing, if you're trying to fly to New York City or Boston, it sure looks like Monday will be okay. The main effects will be late Sunday and Sunday night. The timing has moved up a little bit. And now we'll go to Monday. And again, there's troughing over the east, and down below that, Monday evening, Irene is up in the Canadian Maritimes. And again, we're just dry as a bone here. There's Tuesday of next week, and Wednesday, moisture tried to creep in from the east. We need some rain around here, getting kind of crunchy, but again, prospects just not looking good, other than isolated storms tomorrow and Friday. Check the deeper in. This is the 5th of September. Look at the trough over Canada and the northern states. That looks pretty good. Nice-looking cold front coming down the pike there, northwest of here. And then on the 9th, that front is all the way through, get into some drier continental air. And again, some evidence of maybe a tropical system where? In the Atlantic, east of the Carolinas. That those early season systems were trying to tell us this might be the season of the East Coast runner. And it sure looks like that's going to be the case. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes on the blog. The next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And if you're local to us, we invite you to watch us on television this evening. ABC 3340 in Birmingham at 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of Central Alabama.
in back-to-back ratings periods.
More people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.